whoever isn't speaking at the time, if you guys wouldn't mind putting your phones on mute, that'd be super helpful. For those that don't know me, my name is Tiffany Carlin. I am a partner at Whipfly, but I'm also the CAHF Associate Council Chair. As you can probably see, I'm sitting in my car because, like us all, we're on the road visiting with clients. So that's exactly what I'm about to do after I hang up with you all, but excited to be able to spend this afternoon with you. We have a really exciting upcoming summer conference to share and to exchange ideas with. As we do with every single associate council meeting, what I'd like for you all to do is in the chat feature, if you could put in your name, your company name, and just a quick, like, what is it you guys do? That would be helpful. I redistribute the list of everybody that was on the call and their contact information in addition to this recording, because my hope and intention is that you also leverage the summer conference as an opportunity for you guys to get together with folks that may be good referral sources for you. So the only people that are on this call today, this isn't the entire CAP Associate Council like we normally do. This is only those that decided to sponsor and or have a tabletop display at the conference coming up. So again, hopefully an opportunity where you're also, when you're at your tabletop, you're able to walk around, exchange ideas with some of your fellow CAF associates, ask for referrals, etc. So the schedule for today, I will turn this over a little bit to Kelly and to if Sherry's on, and Dominique and Joe on reviewing the conference. I have the conference schedule, and I'll give you guys that that link. And then we'll go through like options for networking, etc. And then in the CAF Associate calendar invite, you all should have seen the attendee list in there. If you didn't see that, click on your calendar invite and the attendee list is in there. If for some reason, again, you still don't see it, email me, I'll forward it over to you. We're going to go through some of that too. So if you have questions or, hey, this is who I'm trying to connect with, or I don't really know, this person, can you make an introduction? People, everybody who's on here, if they're able to make an introduction, like that's kind of what we all want to be able to hopefully do. So if there's anything else you guys want to address on this call today, we can also do that too. So, all right. So first, Joe, I heard that you were speaking a little bit when I got on. I'm assuming, I don't know if that had to do with the big bill and Medicaid cuts, or if you had an update overall for the CAF associates on what's going on in California. I'll let you kick this off.
Sure. The governor, some of you may know, did sign the budget bill for 26-27. One of the main impacts to our sector was the elimination of WQIP, which was the additional funds that are provided to members based on fees that are imposed and quality fees that are collected. That's unfortunate because if the cuts that are being considered now at the Medicare level, at federal level, come to play, that could have a significant impact on us. Some of you are probably very familiar with what was called the quality incentive fee that was instituted when AB 1629 came through. And the simplest way to think of it is providers paid an additional tax from which those funds were then matched to federal dollars, basically priming the pump. It was a way to draw back additional federal dollars on the Medicare side and therefore provide additional economic means to California. Unfortunately, California was not the only state that did it. Many Congress people call it kind of a gimmick, but 49 states, with the exception of Alaska, implemented that technique. So on the federal side, there's every possibility that that's going to be pulled very quickly. We're not out of the woods there. There's a number of provisions that have been added in the last 48 hours that have some significant ramifications. And I was mentioning earlier that by 2035, there's a prediction that over 18 million Americans will have lost their the medical coverage. So there's some real challenges up ahead. And on the California side, there's a couple of clauses in there. Though the governor signed the bill, the budget bill, one of the provisions, it's a trigger that require certain things to take place. And one of them pertains to housing, and the other one is to the renovation funding that's going on at the city of Fresno. So with that, there was some borrowing that was done, and there's some real strong concerns that all we have done in California is kick the tin can down the road. So yeah, with that, I'll stop. And I just do have a couple of announcements, but once we get done with your discussion for the July conference, I need to add something to that once Kelly's done. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. So clearly that discussion will be quite top of mind at the July conference. Obviously, reimbursement affects buying decisions, everybody. So if you haven't, really been rallying around CAHF in support of the PAC and in support of some of the work that they send out via text message that says, please talk to your congressman. Those are big things that we as associates should be getting involved in. So if you're not seeing CAHF's texts, there is an ability to sign up online to get part of that coalition. When there's, hey, we need to rally the troops, and it's just a link, and that link will direct you directly to your congressman to say, hey, this is how I feel and this is what the industry is doing. So we all can make an impact as to the fate of our nursing homes and the reimbursement that they're receiving. And if you're not in the reimbursement business, a large chunk of money is WQIP. So this particular loss could truly crucify our providers in the state of California. It's not something to take lightly. So want to make sure as associates you're all aware. That'll be definitely the opening session, I'm sure, is what our CEO is going to be speaking about. That'll be touched on as well. And then that mixed with federal cuts is honestly, again, what our clients are going to be thinking about top of mind. So all right, Sherry and Kelly and Dominique, I'm going to show the link to the conference, and then maybe if you guys want to walk through anything that is pertinent,
Sure.
and I can walk through some of the networking stuff.
Yep. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kelly, Director of Meetings Member Services. It's been a long Tuesday already with all these announcements. We had about a almost 2-hour meeting this morning going over it. So we kick off Sunday with committee meetings, and then our welcome reception is Sunday night. It is yacht rock themed, so wear your navy blues and get ready to dance to some 70s and 80s yacht music. We have the DJ all lined up for that and some special treats. That will be poolside at the Hyatt. Monday, as Tiffany just mentioned, Cassie will kick us off Monday morning, and then we actually have AHCA's Vice President of Reimbursement speaking on Monday morning. So I'm sure that she will have a lot to say after everything that was announced today. We'll move on to some breakout sessions. We have a speaker for you guys this year for the Associate Council. So Howard Lim, I believe, right, Joe? Off the top of my head? Yeah.
Right.
So Howard Lim will be flying in from Florida to speak to you guys that morning. And then we will have a couple more breakouts.
Hey, Joe, really quickly, do you want to highlight what Howard's going to be speaking on? Sorry to interrupt, Kelly.
That's okay.
Sure, just a quick second. Howard Lim, I had a pleasure of meeting him many years ago. He's considered the world's #1 rebranding expert. He's written books and has been a consultant to Disney, if you think of Apple, when you think of the Apple logo, NBC, just the Fortune 500 companies. And he formerly had his studio and production company in Malibu, but he has transferred his business to the East Coast. And he's a tremendous speaker. Through the years, he's generated millions for the various clients that he's consulted to, and we're very pleased that we were able to get him to be the speaker at our associate council meeting.
And CAF was gracious enough to host his room and attendance there and food. And Whitfley, my CPA firm, is covering the cost of his travel. So again, guys, here's an event that is not just informational, but a man that we're flying into town that has expertise in sales that's getting paid for by CAF and Whitfley. So, take advantage of a really optimal opportunity for you to listen to a speaker that can help in the business development profession. So please do mark this on your calendar. Again, we are always, Joe and I and the CAF team are always looking for really solid speakers for you all to be able to see as and an added value as being a part of the CAF Associate Council. Okay, Kelly.
Yep. Okay. So Monday we have our awards luncheon where everybody will get together and we recognize certain members within CAF. That's a really nice luncheon that'll take place in the Regency Ballroom. Monday afternoon, we move into breakout sessions all afternoon, and then we go to our Sip and Swirl. So Sip and Swirl tabletop show is for those that have purchased a tabletop. It was very limited this year to only 40, and we sold out fairly quickly. So that'll happen in the Regency foyer, which is upstairs at the Hyatt. We'll have some tray passed hors d'oeuvres. This year, the Hyatt, because of their labor law restrictions and being a union hotel, if you're doing the wine, they will actually have a staff person in there pouring the wine for you. And we had a wine glass sponsor, so we had special wine glasses made that we will be shipping down and handing those out to attendees. Once that is over, you're on your own for dinner. So I know a lot of people take clients out. There's a ton of restaurant opportunities in Long Beach within walking distance. I was able to do a tour down there last year, and there's an abundance of restaurants that are super nice. If you have not signed up for the casino night, this is a pretty big networking opportunity. This is an additional ticket on top of the conference that goes directly to our PAF, our Political Action Fund. We bring in a casino company, and it's basically monopoly money with some desserts and get 2 drink tickets and some fun money. And then the winner, the top female and the top male, go home with a trophy. So luckily, Yvonne's husband is not playing this year. Yvonne is our vice president of government affairs, and he has won the last couple years. Tuesday, we go right into
Hey,
it.
Kelly,
Yeah.
is there a link on here to register for the casino night?
I believe it's separate, so I can ask Maddie. I will put it in the chat in just a minute.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So then Tuesday morning we have our keynote speaker. First thing in the morning, right after breakfast, and then we move into breakouts again, followed by lunch, and then breakouts all afternoon, and then you're on your own Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, we have some legal updates. If you're interested in joining the convention committee to be part of planning these conferences, we meet that morning at 9:30, and then we will have legal issues, and then we have another speaker that morning. Am I not seeing him on here? Tiffany, can you scroll up a little bit? I think he's at. Go up
Not
one
on
more.
Wednesday. We only have 2 breakouts. We don't have a general session on Wednesday. Just
Yeah,
Tuesday.
they're all in the general session on Wednesday.
Okay, so legal issues and advancing compliance.
Yep, they're all in the general session. So that is going to be
Okay.
CDPH's new director that's going to be speaking for us. So this will be the first time that CAF will be hearing from her. So that would be a pretty big deal. And then we wrap up right before lunch, and we have our GR and board meeting after that, and everybody else is time to go home. So I will get that link to casino night and post it in here. I'm going to have to hop off in about 10 minutes. I have a meeting with Cassie.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about logistics? So Kelly, what wasn't brought up was timing for booth tabletop setup. Or Sherry.
So you can start. Sherry will give you your numbers at 2:00. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry. But Sherry will give you your assigned tabletop at 2:00. and then you will be able to start setting up at that time.
Yeah, the tables actually will have your company names on them, and I'll have that all set up by 2 o'clock. So you'll have from 2 to 4 basically to set up, plenty of time.
Awesome.
And reverting back to casino night, Maddie just asked me, we still would like to have some additional sponsors if you're interested. And your name will be repeated throughout the night and put on the poster acknowledging your contribution. So they are looking for sponsors all the way up to and including.
And I think I sent this out, the sponsorship information via email probably a month or so back. It's a fluid sponsorship. So it's one of those things where you pick up the phone and call Maddie and you work something out with her. So there's really not like a set, like if you spend this, you get this. She made it to be, hey, if there's something that a sponsor wants to see and they're willing to write a check, we'll talk about it. So if it is a great opportunity where there is a lot of the CEOs come to that. They enjoy doing it. So there isn't a lot of noise, as in like a lot of other associate noise that are attending that sponsor. So it is a good opportunity if you do want to work with Maddie. Kelly, Sherry, or Joe, can you put Maddie's contact information in the chat feature?
Sure.
Okay, to reach out. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. And then the setup, Sherry, is the tabletop indoor or outdoor?
Thankfully, it's indoors this year, but it's going to be a really tight fit. Like Kelly mentioned, we are sold out at 40 tables. We actually had a wait list of about 7 to 10 companies. So yeah, you'll all be really close together. You can bring like a pop-up backup type of thing, backdrop that can go behind your table. But don't bring a whole lot of stuff because you're not going to have a lot of room, and you are going to have a couple chairs at those tables. So make friends with your neighbors because you're all going to be real close.
So I would say to that is, like, all of y'all are on this call so that we can respect each other, we can refer to one another, and we can appreciate that we're all CAHF associates. What I do not like to see is when people bring their stand-up floor banner and it's blocking somebody else. So hear this. If you're blocking somebody else and the guy next to you isn't comfortable to move your floor banner over, guess who will? Me. So I will not allow for somebody to block another associate council member. So hear that now. If you have a tabletop, bring your tabletop banner. Do not bring your big old floor banner because it covers other people. If you want to put your floor banner on, great. It has to go behind your tabletop or directly in front of it. It's not going to go on the side. So it happens all the time. I just want to make sure we're really, really clear on that. Be respectful.
And if Tiffany doesn't move it, I will. So.
Thank you, Sherry. Yes. So
stop beating around the bush, really.
Yeah. How do you really feel? Right. So I'd bring like stuff like tchotchkes to give away. The people really like doing that. Hey, Kelly, you said that the wine is going to be served by, is it just going to be like a central table now? They're not like, there's going to be different stations, or because usually the wine sits at our table. So how will that work?
It's still going to be at your tabletop. There'll be a staff person in each tabletop that purchased the wine.
Okay. So when they purchase if they decided they spend the $500, right? It's $500 to be a wine person. Sherry, is that right? $500?
It's actually $550. Yeah. And
Okay.
Right now there's 6 companies that signed up to be part of the wine service. So if you're interested and you haven't done it, let me know. You can always do it after the fact. You can do it on site if you'd like. So, or after this meeting, that's fine. Shoot me an email and we'll get you set up.
Okay. Groovy. So I would do the wine. My company's doing a wine. Wine is important. People love to drink at this conference, frankly, any conference. So, yeah, I would definitely opt to do it if you can. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about logistics? We'll go through some of like the best networking opportunities, but logistics.
Are the tables still going to be 6 feet? That's what.
Yes, 6 feet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
And they'll have a drape on them, but you can certainly take that off and put your own covering on there, or just leave it on and put your covering over it. So.
Thank you.
And Sherry, electricity is not going to be for everyone, correct? Like there's no
That is
electricity.
correct. Yeah, if you want any type of monitors, electricity, Wi-Fi, whatever, let me know. I did send that link out yesterday when I sent out the attendee list, but if you need it again, let me know and I'll gladly resend it to you.
Yeah, because of this setup, electricity is limited. So keep in mind, this is literally a couple hours on, on Monday. So people are there to socialize, to drink. They're not going to sit and watch a long presentation. So don't go over the top. This is more about, can I create an environment of fun that then I can create a good contact that then I can follow up with them later, right? So keep that in mind when it comes to like these tabletops, creating an environment of fun that creates connections. I mean, last year it was in Hollywood. I mean, I just did literally a quick setup, took me less than 5 minutes to set up my table. I had fun things to give away. I had wine. And then I literally just made sure like the key thing that I was talking about was like, come on in, let's have some wine with me. Like and garnered a contact from a larger chain organization that then I followed up on later and is now a tax, audit, and cost report client, gigantic client, loyal client. So, and that was because I literally was just like, hey, come in, let's have some cheese together, let's have some wine together. I didn't sit there then telling them that we're the best auditor under the sun. I literally focused on having a nice time, developing our branding, and then following up on afterwards. Okay. Any other logistical question? Great. Sherry and Kelly, was there anything that you guys wanted to bring up about anything that's upcoming annual to think about, Sherry?
Let's see. I'm going to have some information with me to distribute to tabletop exhibitors that have yet to sign up for the show.
Okay.
As of this point, we are at 101 booths sold out of 220. So I'd like to be half sold by the middle of July. So we're doing pretty good. Hopefully we'll get there by mid-July. And yeah, things are going well. It's right now, it's open to anyone who's interested. And there's a link off our website where you can see I believe the floor, actually, no, just the floor plan isn't there, but you can sign up to be an exhibitor and that links you to the active floor plan. You can see what's available from there.
And we do have a new menu of sponsorships this year as well. So Dominique has worked really hard on that, and that will be coming out shortly.
And we'll have that posted on our website as well.
And the room block link will be open right after summer conference ends.
Cool. That's great.
I'm hopping off really quick, Tiffany. I'm hopping off to go to my meeting. But if anybody has questions, feel free to email me or call me directly.
Okay. So I would say everyone that is, thank you, Kelly, everybody that's in charge of trade shows or has to set up hotels or whatever, I would alert your people, if it's not you, to put on your calendar right after the summer conference, that week after, be looking at the schedule because that room block will go like that. So if you want to stay at the host hotel, bet your booty it's going to go in the first week, if not the first few days. So if you're like hell-bent, I want to stay at that host hotel, mark your calendar to be sure to look and get that room block. Okay. That is really important. Okay. So I wanted to make note the on the schedule, the Sunday Yacht Rock Affair is also like dress up. I'll put a link of, wear something rockish. There's a few bands. I like Yacht Rock a lot. There's a few bands that you can follow if you want to buy a t-shirt and show up in that, but I'll send you guys a few links to something to like be fun, be silly. Everyone has a good time at that event. It's really chill. But again, it's a really good opportunity to facilitate some initial introductions that builds on the rest of the few days of you getting to speak to providers. So even providers that are local, what I typically do is also, if you know LA providers and you don't see them on the list, what I'm going to do, I'd encourage you all to do the same. I'm going to reach out to those providers and say, hey, we're going to be in LA County. We're in Long Beach for CAHF. Are you planning on attending? I don't see you on the list. Or do you want to come out with us to this event? It's going to be a great event. encourage other people that you might have. It's a good opportunity too, where I also see a lot of vendor partners will encourage other people in LA to come and have dinners, to do, to really get more engaged. So it's central location that you can also kind of bridge the gap with some of the people you may know in the LA County region. So the Yacht Rock event is by far great. If you are new to CAHF or new to joining some of these subcommittees, you'll see on the schedule the subcommittee meetings. Most of them are open subcommittee meetings. So for instance, if you're like, gosh, I don't know what they're saying about this whole QIP payment and reimbursement reductions, and I really want to know more, the payment subcommittee is on Sunday afternoon. The payment subcommittee is on Sunday afternoon. It's an open forum committee. So while you may not be on the committee, you can sit and listen to the payment subcommittee discuss, what does this mean? What are the impacts? How are we going to address those? What do we think is going to happen? You can ask questions if you want. So just because you don't sit on the committee doesn't mean it isn't a fruitful committee for you to get involved in and to be able to kind of sit and listen to what the topic of conversation is and ask questions. So I would encourage you to take a look at those and really look at the committees to see if there is something you might want to do. If you're a person that maybe wants to be a products and services person and be more engaged with CAF at that level, you may want to go to the products and services committee, understand with Joe and that committee about how can I get more engaged? How can a percentage of revenue go towards CAF so I can build my brand in the CAF universe? So there are quite a few things. If you're targeting nurses, the quality committee is phenomenal. Like if you're targeting nurses, get on the quality committee. So there is so many opportunities for you to get in front of nursing people if that's the road. Rhonda Anderson is on a lot of our committees that focus on nursing staff, and Rhonda builds a business around, hey, here's what I know. I'm going to give my knowledge base to this committee so that all these nurses understand, like when they have an issue about MDS and PDPM, they know they're going to call AHIS, right? So these are things, and involvement like this, just very vitally important. Start at this level, getting to know these committees. So I would highly encourage you to do that. Everyone is competing for dinners. Everybody is going to compete for going out to dinner. So find another associate and partner with them to do a dinner. Don't try to do it on your own. Every one of you is going to want to have a dinner, and there's not enough people to go around. So find another associate, collaborate with them, and have a dinner. Otherwise, you're going to get 2 people to come with you to dinner. If you really want to be effective, here's your pool of people here. Ask them if they want to do something with you to throw a dinner and help underwrite the cost. So I promise you, you're not going to get enough people if they're going to get 100 emails asking them if they want to go to dinner with them. So, okay. I was going to go through the list too, but maybe Joe, before we go through the list, do you want to do your updates?
Yeah, just real quickly.
Yeah.
2 things that have come from our strategic planning. As you know, CAF has strategic planning every year, with the second year being the follow-up to actions that were recommended. One of the things that has been suggested that it really involves our associate members. One is to create an opportunity for our associate members who are experts, who represent companies that are on the cutting edge of research or treatment, etc., and create a white paper resource library that we would then post on CAF website to make it accessible to our members for use and reference and training. So that's the one item. The second item that we're looking seriously at is that this year we may, depending on space, have a section where Sherry would have a piece in the exhibit hall where we would focus and feature new technology, new innovations. So many companies that some of you work for do have new products and new innovation that merit the exposure to the rest of the provider community. So we were thinking of setting aside maybe just a tabletop with specific new innovation products for 2025. So give that some thought. And If you have an interest in that, might want to contact Sherry.
Actually, Joe, we've tabled that whole thing until next year's show, because this year's show is already planned out and and laid out. So, well, that's something I'll definitely look at and incorporating for next year's show.
All right, good. Thanks for the update. Yeah, so the papers are really what we're really focusing on in terms of that. Finally, the other item I want to mention that you might want to block your calendar. Los Angeles is having its annual leadership all provider meeting on Thursday, September the 18th, in the ballroom of the Arrett Nursing Home.
You should have all also received my email regarding that. I sent out an email about a month ago to all associates with all the upcoming events, of which included that.
Yes.
If you're not getting my emails, please let me know.
Yeah, and we'll have a display table opportunity for those of you who would like to be there, because LA, as many of you know, represents 2/3 of our membership. That's where 2/3 of the beds are, 2/3 of the facilities are, and for the most part, where our corporate members are officed at, between LA, Orange County, and Irvine. So that is a one-time opportunity. And the reason we have members really attending that is that LA CDPH is critical. They're the regulatory offices that conduct annual surveys. All 11 offices do the surveys in Los Angeles. And so the managers, the team leaders, and so forth will also be part of the speakers program. So that tends to draw in a lot of providers for that LA event. It's a once-a-year event. So that's it, Tiffany.
That's great. Did anybody have any questions to Joe on that?
Yeah, Tiffany, that all provider meeting, that
Sherry, we just lost you.
Uh-oh. Are you here? Am I
Yep,
here?
now you're back, but your camera's off for some reason.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah,
Okay.
The information on that all provider meeting, the location, the dates will also be on the back side of your name badge at the July conference. So
awesome. Great. So a lot of great regional opportunities. Orange County, I also had put on your email that I sent out to y'all, has also an upcoming meeting. I will be forwarding that once we have formal invites. So fortunately, I do the formal invite for the one in LA, and I do the formal invite for the one in Orange County. So you guys will see all of that information sent out from me as well regarding tabletops. That there will be a tabletop for Orange County and a tabletop for LA, as Joe was saying. So there's two really big opportunities coming up. I believe the NorCal Collective is in August. Is that right, Sherry?
yes, that is correct.
Okay, so the NorCal Collective, also a tabletop option, is coming up as well. So you have like three, outside of this statewide event coming up in July, you have three regional events in August and September that are really great opportunities for you guys to have a tabletop display. It's very inexpensive, and it gives you, again, more touch points with providers, so that when you're going to November's conference, you're not fresh, right? It's not the first time you're meeting somebody. So I would highly recommend that you participate in some of these local and regional events, because it gives November a lot easier leeway for you to have your booth when you're making friends with people that you've already met. If you haven't seen the information that I am talking about, please let me know. And it's also on CAHF's website under regional events. And if you have a tough time navigating CAHF's website, as does everybody, and just drop me an email and I can pinpoint you to say, I'm looking for this, and I'll send you the link. I believe CAHF's thought process is revamping the website.
We are in the process of doing that, Tiffany. Yeah. It's just, it's a large undertaking.
It's on the list. Yes, it's on the list. Okay. All right. So the list was sent out to everybody. Dominique, Sherry, and Joe, you can either stay on to go through the list. Otherwise, you don't need to be on any further, and you can go on your day. It's up to you. So I sent out the attendee list. And thank you again to Sherry and Dominique for getting this out to everybody. Yours may look like this list that I have attached. I've already gone through this list personally to go through like who an accounting firm might want to target, but you may also be looking at, you know, different titles that are DONs and you know, supportive services that I don't particularly look at. So I was thinking we could go through this. This is what I typically do, is go through this list, and if there's people you want to know more about, is this a target? Is this an independent? Do they belong to something else? We as a collective group, I mean, think about it this way. Everyone on this call probably does business with somebody on this list, right? So everyone on this call has at least one client that they would be able to say, yes, I know that client well. You know, I work with them closely. This is what they're like. They are looking at XYZ buying decisions right now, et cetera, or answer questions on that. So I'm hoping we can leverage each other for how we are able to facilitate introductions. Like if I know, oh, hey, Tiffany, I've been really trying to get in front of Derek and Barsonik at Ararat, and I sell XYZ product, you know, I'll know, well, you know, they already just picked somebody to do that, or I'd be happy to make an introduction. You know, I haven't really heard if they're looking for that in the market, or let me ask Derek if he'd be open to speaking with somebody on your service. And if he is, I will absolutely make that introduction. So those are things that, again, I would like for us all to be able to facilitate. So did everyone have a chance to review the list that was sent out? Lots of responses. Yay. You can even like use oh, thank you. Thank you, VG. Like this, like, woohoo. Okay. So thank you, Neil. All right. Dove, right on. Babak, I can always count on you. All right. So is there, based on the list that you've all reviewed, unless I can go through the whole thing and just walk you through the companies, I don't want to waste everybody's time. I can tell you pretty much about every company on here. Or if you have specific questions or looking for specific introductions, we can do that too. What would you guys prefer as the best use of your time in the next 10 minutes or so? Good, crickets. What about my new associates? What would be exciting for you to do besides listening to crickets? Cool, 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 cool. All right, well, I'm just gonna do the list that I broke down as to, let's just say, people that I would target as being a professional services organization. How does that sound? No, I've already deleted all your nurses on here. So if you're a person that needs nursing staff, they're not going to be on this particular one, but they are on your calendar invite. So Carmel Hills Care Center. Carmel Hills Care Center is an independently owned facility. Jared Christensen is the administrator. While he is a catalyst to be the decision maker, it is owned by two other gentlemen. So ultimately, he is, as if you kind of rank your, you know, your ABC players, he's probably your B player that gets you into your A players that owns the facility in Monterey County. He's a great guy, very active in CAHF. He'll talk to you no matter what. So like super personable. He's one of the guys too that's very involved with the independent owners conference a lot, which is great, right? We want a lot more of our independent owners getting actively involved. Does anyone else have anything to add about Carmel Hills Care Center that they know? Buying decisions, etc. Cool, cool. Okay.
It's expanded considerably on the
They've
property.
expanded considerably.
Yep, they've added several hundred beds, and he's very active with the community, especially with public officials. We have done several tours through his building.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. That's super helpful. So growth means opportunity. We're adding beds. That could mean that I mean, that could mean I need resources in buying power. I know we have some new GPOs on this call. I need resources in equipment, right? I need I need more staff. They all need to be trained. So opportunity galore. Century Villa, I'm not familiar with. Is anybody else familiar with George? I don't know how to pronounce the last name. And Century Villa. Okie dokie. Moving on. We'll all target George. Folsom Care Center, Casey Calloway is the son to Calvin, or son-in-law to Calvin Calloway, also an independent owner. Calvin is very active on the board. Casey is the president of the Sacramento chapter. They've been family run and operated for as long as I've been a part of this organization. Calvin's dad used to run it, Del Calloway. We have an award called the Del Calloway Award. So they're an institution in CAHF. They're very loyal. So their changing buying decisions doesn't happen very often, but when it does, they will stay with you till the end. Any other additions about Folsom? Okay. Generations Healthcare. There's a few people from Generations here. John Mastrocola. John has been working with Generations for again, as long as I've been in this business. His wife, Lois Mastrocola, is a CFO of Generations. The interesting thing about Generations Healthcare is they not only do nursing homes, but they really are getting into the behavioral health space. And they're also forward thinking in that they're taking buildings that are apartment buildings or office buildings, and they're converting those buildings to license as behavioral health. So, unique things that they're doing in the market that maybe you guys from a proactive thinking could also help with, right? Well, what does that look like? Do you know enough about the behavioral health space to be active in this? Growth for them is huge. How can you help facilitate some of that growth? So Generations they're a local to Orange County, but buildings all over. They are acquiring, if you guys know Tom Urambula, they're acquiring quite a bit. That is his sole role. Any other information on Generations that you guys wanted to share? Okay. We have a new associate council chair. Apparently they're going to need to know a lot about all these buildings. So Joe, you need to work on that. Landmark Medical is owned by Rose and Mark Horseman. Rose is the mom, Mark is the son, but Rosemary has been running it forever. She's got her blood, sweat, and tears there. It is an ICFDD, right? ICFDD facility?
Yes.
Yes.
No, it's
so
not. It's a psych facility.
Psych facility. Thanks.
Yeah, it's not
you.
DD.
Okay, so still think a little bit different, right? They're not getting impacted by certain things that are happening in the skilled nursing market that Rosemary is. Some of these that are psych facilities, ICFDDs, they get paid differently. So know that going in, because you don't want to look silly if you're talking about things that are happening in the industry with the wrong person.
Yeah, it's a special treatment program. They're licensed under that.
Thanks, Rhonda. STP. Now, a lot of our clients in skilled nursing are also transitioning to STPs. So knowing about what an STP is, knowing about what ICFDDs are, again, know your audience before you speak to them, because they get paid differently. Their licensure is different. Who is auditing them is different. So it's really interesting. What's that, Joe?
Yeah, the bulk of them, like Rosemary's and Vista, they're contracted primarily with counties.
Yep.
That's where most of their payment comes from.
Yep.
They're contracted with the county, but they have regular LA County surveyors from, I won't even say. Oh my God.
They do.
Yes, we do though. We do that building, and it's hard from a survey standpoint, but have Rosemary goes forth, let's just say, with vim and vinegar.
Yeah. Okay. Mission de la Casa is, again, an independently owned facility. However, it's owned by a family who's a physician group. They have a lot of other things going on in the physician world. So if you're just targeting not just nursing homes, but also the kind of peripheral physician services, it's a good target. The owners are great people. Josh is your administrator, not the owner, but Josh does make quite a few decisions, although he does really spend a lot of time going through them. Any other questions about Mission de la Casa or input?
I just want to say thank you. This is very helpful. I know nobody's responding to you, but this is helpful.
Thanks,
So
Dom.
thank you.
Okay.
Especially pointing out who are the independently owned ones, because that's a big that makes a big difference on an administrator if it's an
Yeah.
independently owned building. So then
And maybe Sherry,
it's
that's
more
something
focused.
to note in the future too, with some of these lists, like, are they an IO or are they a chain provider? I know for like American Healthcare Association, we get that, like where it's independently owned, multi-facility, maybe we can do that for the future with these lists. That's great feedback, Dove.
Sure. Yes. Thank you for that. Yeah, we can certainly add that coding on as it's in our
Yeah.
database already. So I'll just make another column and I'll make
Yeah.
a note to do that for
Okay.
the upcoming list as well as November,
Very good.
definitely.
Thank
That'd be
you.
super cool. Thank you.
Tiffany, can I
Okay.
ask a quick question?
Yeah,
I know this is
sure.
really helpful, but I know we won't be able to get through the whole list. But
No.
and I forgot to ask when Sherry was talking about the tabletop, but I know a lot of people, this isn't about this list, but a lot of people don't carry business cards anymore. And I was just, since you attend a lot of events, we're not going to have the, whatever that thing is called again, to capture people's info at these tabletops.
Oh, yes,
Actually,
we do.
Sherry has
We do.
that.
We
Lead
do.
retrieval.
Oh, we do. Okay. I
There
didn't
is
think we
lead
did.
retrieval, but there was a
Yes.
form that was sent out and you have to sign up for it separately.
Okay.
It'll be through our registration vendor. So if you need that information, let me know, or if I can find it, I'll try to put it in the chat
Okay.
here.
I must have missed that.
Yeah,
I do
definitely
know
have it.
that that digital cards are getting to be a big thing, and was just curious if anyone has seen success with that, because people
Yes.
just don't carry cards anymore.
Not in this specific skilled nursing market or independent owner market, but when I go to other shows, Monique, it's rapid. Nobody brings business cards. So what I will typically do is I have Blink, BLINQ. There's quite a few of them. And you can initiate a Blink card on your own side that then you exchange information. The other thing that I've done before that people, if they don't have cards or you're not using a lead retrieval system that not a lot of people in our industry know, you take your iPhone and you put your iPhone next to their iPhone and it swaps contact information. Now, keep in mind that swapping of contact information only swaps cell phones. It doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't swap the entire, so you do still need to say, okay, hey, and by the way, what's your email address? And I'll send you an email.
Okay, thank you. I've seen those, and I was just curious if there's been anything new out there besides
Yeah,
those. So
when I'm at like a NIC conference or at an ASHA conference, the more senior housing conferences, you're more sophisticated. Like I'm out there doing big acquisitions. That's when people get into that realm. It's not as often that I see it at a CAHF conference. But that's a great
Thanks.
question. And this should be an opportunity to exchange ideas of what works, etc. So always ask those questions. And if there's others that have ideas, maybe you guys use something else besides Blink, put that in the chat feature or bring it up for sure. I want all these calls always to be something of value. If you're not walking away from something of value, I know my time is worth $750 an hour. And so I better be on a call that's worth something of value. I'm sure all of your time is worth that and more. So when it comes to making sure that these are valuable, please give me feedback.
LinkedIn
Okay.
QR codes are helpful.
QR codes are super helpful.
No, I'm saying LinkedIn has, if you're in the LinkedIn app,
Oh, yeah.
and they have a QR code that will generate for your own LinkedIn profile, and
Yeah.
you can say you can save that or print that, or
That's a
you
smart
just,
idea.
You just put that on your on your table, and people can scan that QR code and connect with you on LinkedIn. But not everyone's active on LinkedIn, so it might not help if they connect with you once and then they'll never respond to your messages there. So you might be better off getting their email address or phone number.
Yeah, I'm always of the mindset to collect somebody else's contact rather than them take mine, because I need to follow up with them more proactively than they need to follow up with me. Agreed. Okay, we only have a few minutes left, so before I keep going, is there somebody specific somebody wants me to talk about? Okay.
I guess I'll just throw in there first of all, thank you, Tiffany.
Yes,
Is
no
there anyone
problem,
that you
Neil.
can recommend? Thank you. Is there anyone that you can recommend that's particularly open to new vendors? I always find there's certain people that are kind of like very, very locked into their ways, whereas there are other people that are very progressive and they're trying to think of how can I do something better. I always want to look for the people that I have the best possibility of closing the deal, and that's a certain, track record. Some people are they do things a certain way.
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know, Joe, do you have anybody that you think on off the top of your head that is more open to, I mean, the board has to be, so anybody that serves on the board is always open to discussing new opportunities with vendors. The board is constantly reaching out to me to ensure that I'm facilitating relationships with our associates. So, but besides the board, Joe?
Yeah, we during these meetings in July, for example, there's a formal meeting of the 19 chapter presidents and the 5 vice presidents. And we always encourage them to encourage their chapter members during meetings. If you're going to be looking at buying a product or service, please take out the opportunity to engage with an associate member. And we tell them how to get onto the associate member list, and we push that all the time. There's actually some chapters that won't buy anything from anybody unless they're an associate member. And there's several chapter presidents that really push that aggressively. So I think that would certainly be a good opportunity to, again, we'll do that again this time around. Encourage, if I'm understanding your question, how do you find some more susceptible that are not set in their ways? I think what you're going to find is a lot of opportunity going forward. And the reason I say that, it's basic economics. Facilities are marginally close to bottom line. And with the changes and reimbursement and so forth, I think you're going to see more and more operators than ever before starting to look at the best price for the best product. And they're willing to let go of past relationships. We're starting to see that behavior already. So, this might be a good window of opportunity to really set your best foot out there. And, don't take no for an answer, but be persistent and just continually remind them that you offer best price, best value, and times are changing.
So I absolutely agree with that. Of this list, the one thing I would definitely consider is North American. They divested a lot of their portfolio, but they're also growing. So when you have growth comes opportunity. Everyone overlooks Daryl at Mountain Manor. He has a new investor. That means he's going to grow. Masonic Homes of California, again, they think it's one building. It's actually connected to the Masonic Homes overall. So you have like 4 buildings plus whatever else the Masonic Homes does as a non-healthcare provider. Steve is with the Heritage Gardens. Progressive Care Centers is who owns them. They have multiple service centers. So again, don't think this is an independent. Steve has connections. They're growing, and Progressive is a great opportunity to reach out to. Keep in mind, a lot of these are also multi-level retirement communities or CCRCs. So when you have CCRCs, you have skilled, independent, and assisted on one campus. That means that you have bigger buying power. So as opposed to an independent nursing home that's 99 beds, you now have a 60-bed nursing home with a 100-bed assisted living and a 200-bed independent living that, all need services. So a lot of these, California Median Home, Ararat Home, Villa Gardens, these are all CCRCs. Cambridge is constantly growing and always open. Healthmark Services just sold to West Harbor. So there's that. They do have assisted living communities. So if you do target assisted living, that is still something that Healthmark Services can, but just not in the state. Renew Healthcare is definitely someone that's right now looking for other other vendor partners? Everyone, I hope, knows Rockwell. Compass is always in a situation where what are they doing? Are they staying the way that they are? Are they gonna sell? Are they, it seems like it's always in limbo. So keep that in mind as you're approaching Compass.
Hi, Tiffany. This is Barbie. I had a question.
Sure.
So thank you for your time today. I know it's really important. Nobody else seems to say much, but this is really valuable. I really liked how you said know your audience, and you are just the expert. Is just going through the spreadsheet and notifying STP, AFL, SNP, etc. So aside from putting the ownership information, is it possible to also put some type of coding of the type of company or facility that they operate, or is that going to get into like the nitty gritty?
So we have in the CAHF database that whether or not they're skilled or they're other, because we have to invite them to the DD conference, but we don't have them listed by CCRC.
Okay.
So, but frankly, Barbie, it'll take me 45 seconds that if you send over, I can tell you exactly who's a CCRC. I mean, it's almost, so Sherry, I think from the perspective of also adding maybe a, who do we designate as being ICFDD psych facilities versus not? That's at least a start. I don't know if we designate non-for-profit. I know American Healthcare designates not-for-profit. If we do in our system designate not-for-profit, that would be helpful. And the reason why, most of your CCRCs are non-for-profit.
Yeah, we do. We have the 5 conferences, and I was going to suggest that when we do this again, we have the ability to pull out the multis that are attending, the independent owners, the nonprofits, and so we could have them all in there, broken out.
That's perfect. So again, just know if it's a non-for-profit, you're typically doing multi-level retirement community. Your for-profits are your skilled nursing, assisted living, and some of your ICFDD psych units sometimes. And keep in mind, those psych units tend to be pretty small. So you're talking about less beds, okay, than you are, on average. So there are some that are gigantic, connected to hospital systems, but just keep that in mind from a target perspective. I know Dove, you were saying like, hey, I want to, where do I crush the most business? Yeah, maybe not target in a smaller ICF. So
I appreciate it. Thank
Tiffany,
you.
Is there a list with all the vendors, all of us are on this call here today with all our emails? I mean, to your point of the power of, right, because very much what you're doing here, this is so powerful. And if somehow we all kind of helped each other to a certain degree, everyone can pick up new opportunities.
That's exactly it, Neil. Love your style.
If you go to the website, you can download by category, and all our associate members are on there with all their contact and area of service or product or whatever. It's in there.
Yes, but again, this particular, I will send out for everyone that's on this call what they do, and then the email addresses as well of everyone that's going to be a vendor partner at the, Sherry sent me that list at the location, so I will do that too. So again, encourage you guys. I know we're at time. Encourage you guys to look at the schedule. Sherry, don't forget to add the CAHF casino night link so that everyone can register to CAHF casino night.
Yeah.
Partner up with somebody to do a dinner. And don't forget to attend my associate council meeting because I'll be really hurt if you don't attend. No, just kidding. I take notes of everybody that's not there and then I find you. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for attending today. I hope this was again very valuable. Any other calls, please give me feedback. Tiffany, can we add this person? Oh, I have a great speaker to come on board. Whatever you guys think, again, has to be worth our time. So want to make sure these are always very valuable. I will see you guys in a few weeks.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank
Very
you
valuable.
very much.
Love it.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
your
much.
hard work.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.